Coming up on KUJH News, transgender residents in Lawrence are suing the state of Kansas over a new driver's license law.
Democratic governor's nominees hold a public debate in the state capitol.
And the KU debate team is preparing for another national championship run. Stay tuned.
Good morning and welcome back to KUJH News. I'm Emma Noble.
And I'm Annika Gustafson. Changes in Kansas law affecting transgender people are now working their way through the courts. In the meantime, they are causing chaos for the people affected.
KUJH's Clarissa Rodriguez joins us in studio now to explain what those laws and a court ruling could mean for transgender Kansans. Clarissa.
Thanks, Emma and Annika. Senate Bill 244, commonly known as the Bathroom Bill, mandates that Kansans use bathrooms and locker rooms based on their sex assigned at birth. Additionally, their driver's license and other forms of ID must match their sex assigned at birth. But transgender Kansans are pushing back against this law. While some transgender people wait to see what the Kansas courts will decide, others told me they've simply decided to leave.
I have lived until today my entire life in the state of Kansas. But for my state making it clear to me that I'm unwanted there, it's something no one should have to live with. I planned on leaving the state since the quote-unquote Women's Bill of Rights back in 2023, which was the first time they tried to ban changing sex designation on state IDs.
Two transgender men from Lawrence are challenging the laws. Court documents identify them only as Daniel Doe and Matthew Moe, are suing the state of Kansas over a new law that invalidates driver's licenses with gender markers that don't match a person's sex assigned at birth. The plaintiffs say the law forces them to change identification documents that reflect their current gender identity. The lawsuit was filed in Douglas County District Court and is backed by attorneys from the American Civil Liberties Union.
The idea that being just present in a restroom with someone else who's minding their own business, I don't know how the mere presence of somebody who, even if you disagree with how they live their life, that doesn't offend anybody's privacy or safety.
This law restricts which public restrooms transgender people can use in government buildings, libraries, public schools, universities, and parks. It also allows people to file lawsuits against someone they believe is using the wrong restroom in these public spaces.
Injunction due to speculation of harassment. We were harassed during that middle zone while we were, still using the men's restroom. I personally have faced harassment and just mostly getting called names and slurs.
Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach's office has not responded to email or phone calls about this case. However, he did agree to extend the change in driver's license until March 26th. The changes required under Senate Bill 244 don't come cheap. The governor's office notes the expense of having to modify existing buildings and public facilities to comply, and transgender individuals note the new fees they'll have to pay for new documentation from the state.
It ended up being very expensive for me. So one thing that I would suggest is trying to find ways to raise or gather or save money.
A Douglas County judge heard arguments last week about whether to temporarily block the law while the case moves through court. On Tuesday, Judge James McCabery denied that request, saying the plaintiffs had not shown they would suffer immediate or irreparable harm. This means the law will remain in effect while the lawsuit continues. Annika?
Thanks, Clarissa. The judge's decision does not end the case. The lawsuit challenging the constitutionality of the law will continue in Douglas County Court.
The judge will hear a case management on March 18th revolving both parties to clarify. The Kansas Senate passed a bill allowing the states to fine school districts if teachers are found encouraging students to participate in a walkout during school hours. Now, supporters of the proposal say the measure is intended to keep classrooms focused on instruction and minimize disruptions during the school day. Under the bill, school districts could face penalties of up to $100,000 if faculty members are found to have promoted or organized student walkouts during scheduled class time. The proposal is part of Senate Bill 315 as lawmakers at the State House continue a broader discussion about student protests, free speech, and the role of educators in political and civic activities. The bill still needs approval from the House before heading to the governor's desk.
3 Democratic candidates for Kansas governor were in Topeka last Sunday, discussing their campaigns and laying out the platforms for voters. KUJH's reporter Donovan Bullins was at the forum with a closer look at the race.
It was a busy forum with topics ranging from healthcare to public education. The first Democratic gubernatorial forum kicked off with candidates discussing how they plan to address the rising costs of living across the country.
This legislative session, I introduced my Working Families Agenda. This is going to be tax cuts for working families, not the 1%.
We need to have school lunches paid for by the state.
We got lower housing costs. We have an affordability crisis when it comes to housing.
3 Democratic candidates took part in the forum in Topeka. Kansas Senators Ethan Corson, Cindy Holscher, and businessman Marty Tooley. One of the biggest topics of the afternoon was health care. President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill, which was passed last summer, reduced the amount of Medicaid funding states receive. Many Democrats say those cuts could hurt access to health care in rural Kansas.
Medicaid expansion needs to happen in our state. There's no doubt about it. The hospitals, as we all know, are one of the largest employers of any county out there.
Politicians are making dangerous cuts to our programs, Medicaid and Social Security. That's hurting us. No parent should have to choose between making choices of buying groceries or getting your child's medicine, and that's what we see a lot of people facing.
Kansans should be able to get the care that they need without going broke and without driving for hours to see a doctor.
Solutions for improving public education vary, from increasing school funding to providing state-funded school lunches.
I joined with a group of advocates and literally walked from Shawnee to Topeka twice to advocate for funding for our schools. We have to build our teacher pipeline. We can't continue the way we are after this loss of teachers, and if we want our schools to be strong.
Kansas right now has the second highest percentage of teachers leaving the profession every single year. So we need to pay them better, and we need to make sure that they have a secure retirement.
We're going to need to make sure we address the food program and the food programs we serve our kids. Nobody here wants to eat a school lunch, I promise you. We've all been there.
The forum is one of the first opportunities for voters to hear directly from candidates as they make their case for governor ahead of this year's primary election. There'll be more debates from Republicans and Democrats as the countdown to the primary begins, and we'll be sure to cover those as the election cycle continues. Working for you in Topeka, I'm Donovan Bullins.
Thanks, Donovan. The Kansas primary election is set for August 4th, and the general election will be held November 3rd.
In 2023, University of Kansas athletic trainer Jeremy Goetz was fired after viewing restricted medical images without authorization from over 300 patients. Now, updates in the federal class action lawsuit emerged this week, and KUJH's Grant Shear joins us live in studio with more. Grant?
Thanks, Emma. That's right. A former athletic trainer at the University of Kansas has had his professional medical license revoked after investigators found he accessed sensitive medical images and files of female patients. According to the Kansas State Board of Healing Arts, Jeremy Goetz admitted to accessing more than 100 confidential images of women who had undergone breast augmentation procedures. The unauthorized access occurred between 2021 and 2023 through an electronic medical record system and were used for Goetz's personal use. Investigators say that Goetz viewed the files without any medical purpose and even accessed some records from home. He was fired in 2023, and regulators say his actions violated professional standards and patient privacy laws. More than 300 patients have had their medical records accessed, and a federal class action lawsuit related to the incident has been started on February 24th, 2026. Annika, back to you.
Thanks, Grant. Throughout this week, we've seen multiple tornado warnings and thunderstorms with showers. Weatherman Aiden Vaught joins us live in studio now with our first update of the forecast. Aiden, how's today looking?
Annika, today overall pretty mild, all things considered. The winds are definitely going to be a factor today. I can promise you that. This weekend, though, it looks beautiful aside from later in the week, Saturday night into Sunday. That's when our next chance of showers and storms expected to make its way through our area. That sets up, though, a pretty quiet spring break, all things considered. Our temperature is looking pretty good later in the week. Right now, we're at 49 degrees, warming up to as high as 61 But with those wind chills, we're going to be feeling like it's almost freezing outside. Winds blowing sustained out of the southwest at about 20 miles an hour, as high as 25, gusting as high as 45 miles an hour. Emma, it is so windy out there, I can't even lie.
Aiden, you're telling me, trust me. Now, you're going to be back later in the show with a more detailed weather update.
And speaking of weather, spring break starts Monday, and many college students are planning vacations outside of the Sunflower State. But trip planning does not come easy. Rising travel costs and safety concerns may play a role in where students might end up. KUJH's Jack Kenna spoke with professionals and students in the area to find out more about these impacting spring break factors.
For many college students, spring break is a chance to escape the cold and relax somewhere warm.
I think one of the big things for my friends is that we want to go somewhere warmer than Kansas.
But the warmer spring break destinations could come with higher prices. But to some, it's worth it.
For spring break, I'm looking more for a location that I know I'm going to enjoy. And sometimes that means spending a little bit extra, more of my own money to make those experiences and make spring break worth it.
While others know tips to avoid the high costs.
Sometimes you can find it for lesser, and if you're willing to, play around with your dates or look at a connection, that definitely helps bring the cost down.
But price isn't the only factor playing a role in spring break travel this year. With conflicts happening around the world, some travelers may be skeptical about going abroad.
I think my family is a little bit nervous, especially my mom.
But experts say many major tourist destinations are still safe.
These areas really rely on tourism, and so it's in their very invested interest to keep safe for the U.S. travelers to go down and visit them.
And before your trip, experts recommend sharing your travel plans with others and checking trip advisories before you head out the door. Reporting for KUJH News, I'm Jack Kenna.
Thanks, Jack. Spring break for students at the University of Kansas runs from Monday, March 16th to Sunday, March 22nd. Coming up after the break, how artificial intelligence could impact tribal communities and the conversation happening right here at KU.
And the Big 12 Conference is implementing some new groundbreaking technology. Stay tuned.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Where's Tommy?
I thought he was with you.
No.
Jack!
Tommy?
Oh.
Don't stop. Keep playing. Here we go. Here's the fun part.
Encouragement. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back to KUJH News.
Annika, we've sure been thrown some curveballs of weather this week. Aiden Baugh is back to give us what the rest of the week is looking like. Aiden.
Emma, I wish I had better news, but we've got some more curveballs headed our way. We've got everything closing out this week, from rain to sun and more than enough wind, I can tell you that. Not many clouds outside across northeastern Kansas. A few mid-level ones hanging north around that Nebraska Kansas state line. Temperatures around northeastern Kansas pretty mild, all things considered. 48 down in Ottawa, ranging up to 50 in Tongi and Topeka as well. 49 here in Lawrence. Today though, the big story of the day, wind. Look at this. All the way through the night we have wind. Who would have thought? Wind in Kansas? Not me. Never would have guessed. They tell you Chicago's the windy city. That's a lie. It's Dodge City, Kansas. Live there for 1 month and you'll understand it 100%. 25 mile an hour sustained winds out of the southwest, gusting as high as 43 miles an hour, getting all the way down to 33 gusting. That's still so windy. Man, don't want to be outside at all in that wind. I can't even lie. 41 for your overnight low. It's still Relatively breezy outside winds sustained still out of the southwest, 10 to 20 miles an hour, gusting as high as 35 miles an hour. Your 7-day forecast. Look at this. We've got sunshine until Sunday. Now, you may be noticing a trend here. We get lots of days of sunshine, warming up temperatures, and then we get showers and thunderstorms, and then immediately after, our temperatures drop sharply. That's a quick lesson in atmospheric science right there, what I've been trying to learn for 4.5 years at this point. Temperatures warming up to 67 on Saturday. Best chance of showers come Sunday. Monday, 39 degrees, overnight low of 23, warming back up midweek for your spring break, 68 degrees. Annika.
Thanks, Aiden. And while we're over here trying to predict the weather, researchers at KU are trying to predict the future of AI. KU hosted the Sovereign Futures Conference last week, focused on data sovereignty and the issues AI presents to tribes across the country. KUJH's Caden Baird spent both days down at the conference asking panelists and organizers the importance of Indigenous data sovereignty in today's world.
Environmental justice initiatives, human rights and environmental and climate initiatives, and this is where we work collectively as Indigenous.
AI is a hot topic across the U.S. and the world, and Native communities are no different. For that reason, KU hosted Sovereign Futures series on AI and how it affects tribal and data sovereignty.
Operational sovereignty, I think it starts.
The Office of Sovereign Partnerships here at KU gave me a really wonderful idea and opportunity to bring together community leadership from the region and actually nationally and bring together community members where we can all kind of break some of these concepts down from a high level into some really manageable pieces.
When it comes to resources.
The conference featured panelists ranging from experts, researchers, and tribal members from across the nation to give their insight and have a discussion on what to do with AI.
I think it's a really amazing opportunity for tribes to understand that this is an opportunity for them to shape their tribal data governance infrastructure in a way that is rooted in their own cultural values, and that there's not one approach to doing this, nor is there any wrong way to do it.
I would say 100 tribes to.
At the end of the conference, panelist KUJH Atili gave a powerful speech on what AI could mean for Indigenous communities.
They used ink and paper to take our lands. In the 1900s, they used radio and film to take our stories. Now it is our turn to use AI to take them all back. Thank you.
For KUJH, Caden Baird.
Thanks, Caden. If you missed this year's conference, don't you worry, it's an annual event. But there will be a new topic of discussion come next March. Coming up on KUJH Sports, the KU baseball and softball teams have begun their seasons.
And KU basketball is preparing for their tournament conference run. Stay tuned.
You can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the king, come banging on your chest. You can beat the world, you can beat the war. You could talk to God, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks. You can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself. Stand in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name.
Welcome to KUJH Sports. I'm Trevor Burns, here to give you the latest on Kansas athletics and beyond. Breaking out of the professional sports world, Miami Heat star Bam Adebayo delivered a historic performance on Tuesday night. Adebayo dropped 83 points in an 150-129 win over the Washington Wizards. the second highest scoring game in NBA history. Only Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game in 1962 ranks higher. Turning to the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs are making moves this offseason. The Chiefs signed Super Bowl champion running back Kenneth Walker to a 3-year deal, adding a major weapon to their backfield. They also bring back tight end Travis Kelce on a 1-year deal, keeping the longtime connection with quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Lastly, the final game of the WBC took place last night between Italy and Mexico, with the USA's WBC life on the line. Italy came out with the win, meaning both the USA and Italy advanced to the quarterfinals. The USA continues their quest for the title tomorrow against Canada. Former Kansas golfer Gary Woodland is opening up about his battle with PTSD, following his brain surgery in 2023 to remove a benign lesion. Woodland recently shared the emotional toll the recovery process has taken on him.
Days when it's tough, I'm crying in the scoring trailer. I'm running to my car when I get done just to hide it, just because I'm scared. I don't want to live that way anymore. If I'm feeling something, I want to let it out. I want to let it go because I am getting better.
Woodland says speaking out about his experience is important to him. He's hoping his story can help others who may be facing similar struggles.
And right now, I hope somebody that's struggling, that's battling this, sees me out here still fighting and battling and trying to live my dreams, and that gives them a little hope.
Woodland is hopeful to return to competition at the Masters, set for April 9th through the 12th. A new look has taken the stage at Big 12 tournament in Kansas City, with the introduction of an LED glass court. KUJH's Tyler Brewer dives into what players and coaches have to say after experiencing the new technology.
Oh no!
Mom's favorite vase.
She always says don't play ball in the house.
Basketballs and glass have never been seen as a good duo. At least, that was until this year's Big 12 tournament, where we have seen the debut of the ASB glass floor, which could revolutionize how we watch basketball.
So ASB has been around since the 60s. It stands for Aluminum System Bow. ASB has figured the best technology out to keep the athletes safe. And at the end of the day, this was originally engineered for the athletic safety standards. It's a surface that's made of glass. It's got a spring action metal system underneath it. And within that metal system, we've got LEDs that are embedded. And it provides a surface for the athletes that's a little bit more elastic and more comfortable to play on. It's lighter on their ankles. It's lighter on their knees. It wasn't engineered and built for the marketing purposes. That just came about because sports has innovated and changed.
The Big 12 is the first major league in the United States to use the floors, and while the feedback has been positive, the change has taken some getting used to by players.
It felt like, back then, like it's a tournament called the Gus Macker 3-on-3, where they put like a floor outside and you play outside on the floor mat. That's how it felt, but we got to get used to it because that's the court we're gonna be playing on. So
Pretty bad, to be honest. It's slippery. It's the lights and stuff cause Kamari to get a migraine, and yeah, it's a bad floor. They shouldn't bring it back.
Others, like UCF's Kaya Ngodu, had no notes.
It was nice. Honestly, I don't really think it feels that different from the regular court, especially when I'm playing. I'm kind of just focused on the game.
While there are some growing pains, the potential this technology has for basketball is something that would be hard to ignore. However you feel about the court, just know the future is coming, and it may be 94 by 50 feet. For KUJH News, I'm Tyler Brewer.
Thanks, Tyler. The new glass court is certainly bringing a different look to the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. While the court may be new, the stakes are still the same. The men's Big 12 tournament tipped off earlier this week, with Kansas entering as a number 3 seed and earning a second-round bye. KUJH's Kaki Varana joins us live outside Allen Fieldhouse with a preview before tonight's tip.
Thanks, Trevor. Kansas heads into tonight's Big 12 quarterfinal matchup looking to build momentum after a strong finish to the regular season. The Jayhawks are coming off of an 104-85 win over Kansas State last weekend, extending their senior day win streak at Allen Fieldhouse to 43 games. Several Jayhawks also earned conference recognition this week. Freshman guard Darren Peterson was named to the All-Big 12 second teams and all-freshman team while leading the team with nearly 20 points per game this season. Sophomore center Flory Padunga earned Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year honors and leads the conference in blocked shots. Senior guard Melvin Council Jr. was also honored as the Big 12 Newcomer of the Year and leads Kansas in assists. Tonight, Kansas will face TCU in the Big 12 quarterfinals in Kansas City. Tip-off set for 8:30 at the T-Mobile Center. Live outside of Allen Fieldhouse for KUJH Sports, I'm Kaki Verona.
Thanks, Kaki. KUJH Sports will be in Kansas City tonight, bringing you the latest updates from the Big 12 tournament. After a short home series for both baseball and softball, they're both hitting the road to try to get some more wins under their belts. KUJH's Emma Hale has more.
That's right, Trevor. Starting off with Kansas baseball, the Jayhawks began their trip down south in Fort Worth with a matchup against TCU, and it turned into a bit of an unusual one. Kansas was held scoreless through 8 innings before finally breaking through with 2 runs in the top of the 9th. But just as the Jayhawks started to build some momentum, weather moved into the area Tuesday night and the game was suspended. When play resumed Wednesday, Kansas added 2 more runs, but the late push wasn't enough as TCU held on for the 9-4 win. Now that game didn't count toward the conference standings, and the Jayhawks sit at 10-6 overall on the season. Next up, they move on to Lubbock for a 3-game series against Texas Tech. Meanwhile, Kansas softball is heading into conference play with plenty of momentum. The Jayhawks are coming off a dominant sweep over Utah State in their home opener, launching 6 home runs in Game 1, winning 18-2 in Game 2, and closing out the series with a 14-0 shutout. Kansas hit 12 home runs, yes, 12 home runs across the series, and freshman Ella Boyer led the way, earning Big 12 Freshman of the Week honors after hitting 500 with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs across 4 games. Now the Jayhawks head to Houston to open Big 12 play with a 3-game series against the Cougars. That is the latest on Kansas baseball and softball. Trevor, back to you.
Thanks, Emma. First pitch for Kansas baseball tomorrow night in Lubbock is set for 6:30 p.m., while softball opens their Big 12 series in Houston tomorrow at 6 p.m. Coming up on KUJH News, Aiden Baugh is back for one final look at the weather, and the KU debate team is preparing to make another run at nationals. Stay tuned.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, "Read your lease. No pets allowed." My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Always stay humble and kind. Don't expect a free ride from no one. Don't hold a grudge or a chip, and here's why. Bitterness keeps you from flying. Always stay humble and kind. Yeah.
We're back, and what's on my mind, Annika, is that we only have 1 more day left to go before spring break. I'm going to be out of state, but for those who are staying in town, Aiden, how's the weather going to be back here in Lawrence?
Emma, once we get through Sunday, it's looking beautiful outside. We're looking at our long-range forecast model. This is the Euro model. We're going from Sunday all the way through Wednesday. Next week, you really don't want to take them too far out, or else they really start looking a little bit funky. Once this loop resets, Sunday, we have scattered showers moving across the state in and out of our area by Sunday night. However, the rest of the beginning of spring break, it's looking amazing out there. Clear skies, temperatures warming back up. It's looking to be a great spring break. Can't wait to enjoy it. Annika, what about you?
Yeah, thanks, Aiden. Personally, I'll be in the Dominican Republic, soaking up all the sun before I can return back to Kansas.
I'm jealous, Annika, to say the least. Well, the University of Kansas debate team is once again proving why it's considered one of the top programs in the country, with 3 teams qualifying for nationals this year. KUJH's Alex Wood spoke with students to see what it takes to prepare for that level of success.
What does a no first use policy do to For members of the KU debate team, qualifying for the national debate tournament is a huge accomplishment. Scott Harris, the David B. Pittaway Director of Debate, says it's essentially the national championship of college competition.
The National Debate Tournament is the functional equivalent in the world of debate to the NCAA tournament for men's and women's basketball. It is an opportunity to compete against the best and brightest universities from the country.
And Kansas has a long history of success, winning 6 national tournament championships and finishing as runner-up the past 2 years.
We're very proud of the fact that the University of Kansas is one of the blue bloods of college debate.
For debaters like Brooklyn Hato, president of the KU debate team, hearing they qualified for the tournament was an unforgettable moment.
One of the head coaches, Brett Bricker, he had texted AJ and I immediately just started screaming, and I was just very happy because the NET is like the big thing that you want, so we were just very grateful and happy to be able to go.
Qualifying for the tournament is a chance to look back on their work.
Just being able to reflect the time that I've spent and just the people who have invested in me and made sure that I could be here.
But as the tournament approaches, the team's focus is clear.
There will be no spring break for the debate squad. They will be locked in practicing to prepare for the tournament.
For KUJH News, I'm Alex Wood.
What a team, Annika. Now, that KU debate team will head to Houston later this month, looking to continue the program's long tradition of success on the national stage.
Well, that's all me and Emma have for you this morning.
Make sure to check out KUJH on TikTok and Instagram for exclusive content, and of course, keep up to date on the latest stories at KUJHnews.com. I'm Emma Noble.
And I'm Annika Gustafson. KUJH News will be back in 2 weeks at 11:30 a.m. Finish your week strong and enjoy your spring break.